Hi, I'm Paul Psolka, Ivy Masters Learning Center and ivymasters.com. And today we're going to look at Test 7, Section 1, Number 1, which reads, which choice best describes a major theme of the passage? So we consider answer choice A, the corrupting influence on a materialistic society. I'm going to read a selection of excerpts from this passage, and we're going to see both why answer choice A is wrong and why the correct answer is what it is. So, we see in the blurb, and you should always read the blurb, the passage is adapted from George Eliot's Silas Marner, originally published in 1861. Silas was a weaver and a notorious miser, so he was greedy and he hoarded his wealth. But then the gold that he had hoarded was stolen. Shortly after, Silas adopted a young child, Eppie, the daughter of an impoverished woman who had died suddenly. So, let's look for, first of all, in the blurb, it says it's talking all about Silas. It looks like what it's not talking about is society. It's talking specifically about Silas. And let's see this part, corrupting influence of a materialistic culture. Let's see if we could find that corruption here. So when we look at lines 24 to 29, up here, we've got, Eppie called him away from his weaving and made him think all its pauses a holiday, reawakening his senses with her fresh life, even to the old winter flies that came crawling forth in early spring sunshine, and warming him into joy because she had joy. And we see also down 49, there was a sense of crowding remembrances from which he turned away timidly. So this is Silas turning away timidly, taking refuge in Eppie's little world that lay lightly on his enfeebled spirit.
Daddy.
53 to 57. As a child's mind grew into knowledge, his mind was growing into memory. As her life unfolded, his soul, long stupefied in a cold, narrow prison, was unfolding too and trembling gradually into full consciousness.
He's in here. Come out.
And then it continues in the next paragraph. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is, if I'm Silas, this is my Eppie, only Eppie's a little boy, not a little girl. So, what we get here is, it was my influence which must gather force with every new year. The tones that stirred Silas's heart grew articulate. So, it sounds like all of this is pointing into how it's reawakening Silas. Okay. And so we could see that the focus is not on, go back to question 1. It is not on corrupting influence. The focus is rather much more positive. Answer choice B, the moral purity of young children. So if you look in lines, let's see, up here. Down here, we've got 64 to 66. Also, by the time Eppie was 3 years old, she developed a fine capacity for mischief and for devising ingenious ways of being troublesome. So, moral purity, not exactly the focus of this passage. Keep passing it. Okay, so that's why it is not B. Answer choice C, the bittersweet brevity of childhood naivete. There's no evidence for bittersweet brevity for childhood naivety. If it's naivete, what is it? It's, you don't know any better, you're not worldly wise, you're not experienced. But nothing in the passage is saying that. See, it's joy, children. So nothing in the passage is saying that childhood's not lasting a short time, or anyway. An answer choice could be true but wrong. So maybe you're like, oh yes, children are naive, and it is bittersweet and brief. But answer choice could be true but wrong. Correct answer here we see is the restorative power of paternal love. And you could use actually all of those lines that I highlighted here as evidence for that. So that should be obvious at this point. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has trouble with these main idea type questions on SAT. If there's any question you'd like to see answered on any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, you can leave that in the comments. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Say goodbye, Luciano.
Bye. Bye.